This is the Hazardous Hooligan, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to make this with a few simple steps. Let's get right into it. Everything you need to build this is actually in the description of the video, and I just thought I would make it easy and actually have its own little area in the description because, you know, when you see these videos, sometimes they don't include where I got all this, and you know, it can be kind of frustrating at times because you want to build it yourself and you can't find everything that you need. So, starting off, this is from Amazon. It's a 24-inch hoop that is made for wreaths, so you like string the wreath around it, but it makes a perfect vent kind of base, so it looks really good. Now, these are from When Hinges Creak. These are cast in resin, and you know, they're just the nut and bolt. Here's some Brutal Rust stains, which we won't be using until the end, but I thought I would include them in this area as well. And then this is actually the Brutal Rust. Here's the primer you need, and the glue you need. This is water-based Gorilla Glue. So, starting off, we just want to line these up, and you can see there's these holes that go around it, and all you really need to do is put this on the edge and then kind of line it up of where the holes are, because they are slightly off-center, so you want to account for that. So that's about in the middle. And then before you do anything else with that, I'll go to the glue just to get one set for on camera. Let's see. So just a little dollop. Let's see. Just like that. And then because it's water-based, you need to put the water and just brush that down. And I'll do one close to me. Let's see. So I'll just kind of paint around this area of where it's going to be. And then I will find where I think the middle will go, kind of line it up that way. Just like that. And then you wait for it to dry. You can just kind of hold it down for a little bit until it gets a little more firm. Let's see, how long does this take? Only a few minutes, so to set, but for a full dry, it takes 24 hours to fully cure. So that's in place, and now we'll do all the rest. Now, I put a little bit too much glue on some of these, not all of them, but if that happens to you, you can just wipe it away. And even if you don't, because you're going to be putting rust on it, it might just look like it's a bump in the rust. And it kind of hides all the imperfections. Like, there's some air bubbles in certain ones of these kind of nuts, and all of them will kind of be masked by that rust we put on later. See, I put a little bit too much on this one as well, so like the other ones, I'm just going to wipe it away. Get another piece. Be careful not to move the bolts when you are wiping the edges. Just like that. Okay, so now the next step is to let all of this dry, and it takes about 24 hours, so we'll be right back after that. So we kind of skipped the painting part of this process because you have to prime this entire area, because We were talking to the Brutal Rust people at Transworld, and they said that wood and more porous materials will soak up a lot of the rust, and it's better to prime it, but you don't have to. We just thought it would look better if we do. Now, on the back, you might notice that we built this stop sign looking shape, and this is so we can mount it onto the wall. And so we just cut it at angles, and we nailed it in so it's all firm. Now, with this paint, we will paint all of it, we'll dap it up. And now, we did cut these slats as well. So these will kind of look like those angled pieces inside of the vent. So, without further ado, let's get right into the painting. Now, before you start painting, you do have to mix up your Brutal Rust because you really want to get the flakes of the metal really mixed in with the paint so then you get the best result at the end. And if you're working on it over a really long time, you're going to want to mix it multiple times just so you can keep that same consistency throughout. So now we're going to stipple it all onto the surface first. All the little areas we're going to do with this, and on the bigger areas we're going to do with this. But I'm going to start with this just so I can get into all of the grooves at first. You know, just to really keep all that detail in the rust of how it would actually look on this. Now you're going to want to let this dry, as I said, for 5 to 10 minutes, and you can really notice it looks really good. It looks already like painted rust, but obviously as it dries, it will look more like real rust, and that's because it is real rust. This activator just kind of makes the rust a lot faster than it would naturally, so you're going to get this really, really realistic live rust. So it will continue to rust after you finish the project, and you can seal it, but I think I'll just let it forever kind of rust more and more. So now we're going to want to spray it with this, and you're going to want to spray it for kind of far back so then you can not mess with any of your work and kind of keep all that detail, kind of like this. And we'll just got to get this started first, get all the, there we go. Kind of want to make 2 passes on it. Like that. And you're going to let it dry for 5 to 10 minutes. This is what it looks like when it's fully cured, and it looks really, really realistic. And especially you can see, because we primed it, you can see some of the metal on the bolts, how it kind of looks gray, like that part hasn't fully rusted yet. But because they use a bunch of different flakes of different metals, you get a bunch of these like yellows and the reds and the browns, all from different kinds of metals. There are even, on some places, you can see some more blue type of this color of rust. And it takes about 12 hours to cure, but because we didn't get all of the edges, because, you know, it's hard to get those like little edges, it took about probably 24 hours for it to fully dry and look like this. So now, the next step is to put these pieces on, which we also hit with the Brutal Rust. And we're gonna put them on the inside with these 45-degree angle little pieces so they stay in place. So for this next step, we wanna, and you can see that I wrote on it where I want these pieces to go to make sure they're all level. So we're gonna put this at an angle right here, make sure it's all lined up correctly. And then to make sure it stays like that, we have these little pieces that we're gonna put in the corners like that. And we're actually gonna glue these there, so we can just actually take that out, put it back in there, because you wanna glue it like that. Let's see, so we're just gonna kind of pressure, get it in there on one side, then put this on there. Put this hot glue right there. Just sandwich that right in there. And you do that on the other side too. And just put a little dab. Now our next step is just to make sure you have this able to be lined up like that. You don't want to bend it or anything, just make sure it's lined up and you have enough room on that side. But before we actually glue those pieces in, we want to glue this in. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your hot glue gun, just put that like that. You might want to put a little bit more right there, right there, and right there. And then, you know, get rid of the little string. And put one right there, and right there, and then just kind of follow that through. A little bit too much right there, but that, you won't be able to see that. So you can kind of just slide this in. And then any extra you can just wipe up with a towel or something. I can pick that off later though, just because it's not too bad. Right there. And then boom, that's all glued in. You might want to wait for that to dry, but it's fine if you don't. Let's see. So now you can line it up right here, right there, and then put that there. Just like that. Can put that right on in there. And then now that will hold up the other side as well. And then this all will just kind of hold itself up until you glue it down. And also, it won't be, in case someone runs into this, if it was just these glued, if someone were to run in this in your haunt, and like it would all come out, but because you have this, it will take a little more to pull it out. So we want to just put it right on there. Just like that. You can just slide that in and line it up. Make sure it's all correct. And then we can do the rest off camera because you guys get the idea. This is what it looks like all finished, and I think it looks really, really great. You can really see how someone will think that this is real metal, partially because it technically is real metal now, except the thing that's on the inside isn't actual metal. But it's a really cool piece. And especially if you put a light and some fog behind it for your haunt. So let's go see what it looks like in a kind of example of what it would look like in a haunt. This was the Hazardous Hooligan, and I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy this style, I'm going to be making a few other videos like this with Brutal Rust products. So the next video with the series of Brutal Rust products will be the Flex Coat concrete paint. And now I'm going to be painting this whole board here with that concrete powder, so then it looks like real concrete, and I'm going to weather it and make it look really cool. So make sure to check that out when it comes out. And if you did enjoy this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I really enjoy reading them, and I'll see you in the next video.